Hey, this is Jonathan here. I hope you're doing well, especially this time. I hope your family's safe and everything. In this video, I just really wanted to show you and really break down what we're doing for one of our clients on e-commerce Shopify. So selling in the US as well, and we'll just really pull back the curtain and show you exactly what we're doing in terms of marketing strategy. What was the situation before we started working with them, what we actually did during the process, as well as stay till the end as well, because I'm going to reveal the profit and loss statement, so you can see actually like how much money is being generated here and like the net margins of this business as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna you can see, hopefully you can see my my computer screen at this point in time. So from the time from like Q4 last year, October, we started working with them, and then all the way to like today's what, April 3rd, right? So over $600,000 in sales. And I guess what I'm really proud of with this case study is that the actual speed of which we turn around the business, right? So before for September, right, they were doing around $5,000 per month, and they were already actually running ads. So they're actually running ads but not profitable. Okay, there was like, I think previous agency was running their ads, and yeah, I'm going to detail it in the PowerPoint. Well, basically the month after, from 5K, right, you go to the next, yeah, right, we're actually hitting around the 100K mark, right? So very comfortable margins, especially going into Q4 as well, and basically ready to scale the business. Okay, I mean the next day, you can see October to like the 2nd, right? Then we can hit that 100K mark already. Yep. So this store is still live, by the way. So like we're still trying to scale at this point in time, but I wanted to show you exactly. As I went back here, October to the month of April as well, right? I want to show you exactly the ad account behind this. So this is the actual ad account behind it, and you can see here, right? I'm going to refresh right here. From the same time period, from October to April 3rd, we spent around $134,000 on Facebook ads, right? Reach around 4 million people, and like Facebook ROAS is not very good. In a sense, the conversion tracking is not very fantastic. So as you can see here, right, it's overall on Facebook it's like 2.47, but every ad account is different. So in total it's around 4.6, and I'm going to show you afterwards as well. But you can see in the month where we turn things around, I want to show you yeah, the month that we turn things around, right, like how much we actually spent to generate that $100,000 right there in the first month, right? So we spent around like $32,000. So on the flat, right, just trying to get more traffic into the store, getting more cold traffic in, there's like $32,000 being spent there. Okay, and last thing I want to show you is like at the back end, right? So we're trying to do Klaviyo now at the moment as well. So we literally don't touch email at this point in time. Okay, so like you see, like build up very simple flows that don't need that like quite suck, I would say. Like they're not even that good and that well optimized at this point, but we're trying to gradually build up that email list, because we started I think around like 30,000 emails, and then like we drive so much traffic, right? The email list is like 55,000 right now. So right, there's a massive untapped potential right here for us to really generate tons of money through email, because that's the most profitable channel for literally any business, right? So as you can see here, right, probably around 13% of sales are coming from email at the moment, and we definitely want to bump that up to like 30 to 40%, right? So really healthy margins on that, because email, you've already in a sense acquired the customer, right? You have acquired their data. Okay, so I hopefully that kind of makes sense to you, and you can see here like the curves are uneven as well. So I'm going to explain to you like what is happening, and now we're also trying to scale, right? So we're actually doing better during this economic time than ever, which is strange, right? Because it's like you would think consumer demand, especially US consumer demand, decreases and stuff, but we're actually doing better even during this time. I'm guessing because stock as well as several other factors. Okay, so let me just get right into it, and let me start the presentation right here, so that you can really get a sense of what is happening. Okay, let me just start. Give me 1 second. Okay, so title of this case study is really how we helped our client go from unprofitable at 5K a month to 100K a month without really external funding or loans, right? So in digital marketing, you don't have to need a lot of money to start, and when you scale to very big numbers as well, you don't need a lot of money. You just need to you really need to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you cash burn very fast. Okay, you really need to know what you're doing. Okay, and this is like despite tough economic times, right? Tough economic times. Okay, so in terms of marketing channels, we literally only do two things. Okay, we do paid traffic, we do one channel. We literally only do one channel, Facebook and Instagram. Okay, and then there's like very mediocre email marketing being done as well. There's literally no SEO done, and so like it really shows you the power of what paid traffic can do, especially when you do it right. You can turn over an entire business, and eventually we are diverging into Google search as well as Google Shopping, and maybe YouTube in an upcoming months as well. But basically, this is literally what we did. So that there is the result there, the 600K is done by through this. Okay, I want to show you the exact funnel that we actually built out as well. So you can see on the left hand side here, right, it's just Facebook and Instagram. It goes to a product page, and then the product page, for example, we capture the push notifications and SMS list as well. So if they actually don't buy, then we actually still have another push notification here that will drive back to the product page, drive back to the checkout page. Okay, there's also an email opt-in here, so there's email opt-in connected to Klaviyo, and then that goes into a welcome series, which you saw just now as well. Okay, and then here is in a sense the browse abandonment flow, and then last one we have the abandoned checkout series right here. Okay, so it's a very simple funnel. It's like it's not complicated at all. It's very standard e-commerce funnel, and that's basically it. Yep. Okay, so the situation before is that they are Shopify e-commerce brand, branded product, by the way, in business for around 10 to 11 months, and they were actually running ads. I think another agency was running their ads, but they were not profitable, right? So their break-even ROAS was, I think, around 1.6, around there, and they were in cash burn state. So that's when they came to us. So for market-wise, they're only advertising to the US, and anybody who runs ads, especially when you know that US is the most competitive market out there, like it's really difficult. Okay, yeah, so you definitely know the competition there, and it's a one product store as well. They literally only sell one product. There is no upsell, there is no downsell, right? There's nothing that they can buy recurring. So it's very difficult for us as well to increase that average order value, and it's a massive challenger, but somehow still able to get these type of results. Okay, and during this time, I think you saw the graph just now, like there was a lot of stock issues. Okay, there was like two times of stock issues. So going to Q4, we're trying to scale for Christmas, right? And then basically we ran out of stock end November, because my client was not expecting the sales for us to like turn around the business so fast. So there was no enough stock, and then it went into back order. So people are actually buying the product despite the stock not being there, right? So and we're still able to get those type of sales, right? So it's quite fantastic in a sense. Okay, and then this economic situation as well. So currently now it's also in back order. So as you can see, like literally from the start of January, the supply chain was affected already, and we've been on back order, right? So this is another thing that is like despite this, we're doing better. Okay, so what we actually do first, anytime we take on a new client, right, is, for example, we go into an analytics deep dive. So what we do first is go into your GA, because GA is normally your most I guess your most accurate data form. Okay, so we go into the quantitative. You can, for example, go into audience, and then you go into demographics, and then you sort by revenue, right? So you can see here, you sort by revenue, and then you see which of your most profitable audiences there are. So you know exactly who you're selling to, and you can craft your messaging around that. Okay, keep in mind that there's a lot of attribution error. So the Facebook reported ROAS, right, on Facebook and Instagram, you definitely want to cross-check with GA, because GA is the script on your actual website. Facebook is just reporting based on their mechanism over there. Okay, so this is just one thing. Okay, next thing is also qualitative data. I think a lot of people, a lot of marketers, a lot of companies don't care for this, but this is probably the most important thing that you could do that will drive the most results for your business at this point in time. Okay, it's actually getting feedback and asking people what they think about your product or service. Okay, so you actually can go into use Hotjar, for example. You can see here, right, Hotjar, there are like feedback forms that you actually can use, pop up, and then you ask people why aren't you buying from us, right? Like literally just ask them. Okay, then there's also, you can actually send emails to your email list and literally just ask them, hey, why aren't you buying from us? Or go to your best customers, right, and ask them, hey, why did you buy from us? So it really gives you a sensing of what your business is doing and what your customers, who your customers are. Okay, this incredibly important information because it gives you so much insight. Okay, can also go to Zoom calls and really ask them about the pain points and why they actually bought. Okay, so this is if you actually do these things right, you're actually better than 90% of other businesses out there, because you really understand who your customer is. People just sell for the sake of selling, and then because they sell for the sake of selling, they are not selling to anybody. Okay, you when you go too broad, that the messaging cannot be fine-tuned enough, and the ads don't convert, and then you're asking yourself, why don't they convert? So this is really the reason why. Okay, and then you might be asking, what should I ask these people, right? So you should ask like, why aren't you buying from us? What is the biggest transformation that you seek when you actually buy from us? And then what is the result that you actually want from buying that product, right? What is the transformation that the result brings? What is the result that the transformation brings? Okay. Yep. And then afterwards, we generally craft the persona. So you can compile this in a Google Sheet or whatever, and basically you ask the market what it wants, and you hypothesize. Okay, so like I don't think I'm a smart guy. It's just more like I listen to what the market says. So just ask your market what they want, and then hypothesize how you can advertise and attack those angles. Okay, that's basically it, right? You don't really have to think about this. You just go to the market, go find out what they want, and then you just give it to them. Yeah, it's quite. I think it's quite simple, but a lot of people don't do this. Okay. Then afterwards, once you know exactly who you're selling to, right? The messaging, the copywriting, the ads, the landing page around that, then you center your messaging around that so that they understand who you're actually selling to. Okay, and here is go for the throat, right? Which is basically once you really understand who you're selling to, you find out their deepest, darkest pain points, and then you just attack that pain point. Okay, so you just really attack and whack that, go for the throat. Yeah. So when I say hypothesize, right, you probably have like 2 to 3 angles that you want to approach this, right? So for example, this guy, he wants to learn animation and stuff, right? So it's probably about like career-wise, it's probably like personal growth, right? So if these are the 2 angles I'm hypothesizing, I go for the most painful one, which is the career one, right? Like in a sense, like for example, making money and getting a career out of it, right? A livelihood, right? So that's go for the throat, right? So if that doesn't work out, then you just try different things as well, right? So always be listening to your customer and hearing what they have to say. Okay, so our ad strategy was that we knew the break-even ROAS was 1.6. So when we media buy, right, we always set the limits to, okay, we want to do times 2 ROAS on cold, so that we know exactly, right, that we are always profitable, right? Anything less than times 2 ROAS on cold, it tells us that we are not profitable. Okay, so we always know that the retargeting and the warm traffic and the hot traffic will definitely be more profitable in the long run. In any case, right? So definitely know we are profitable. Okay, so in terms of ad strategy wise, be a bit more technical here. Campaign objective, we went purchase all the way. Start around $100 per day. The testing campaign level started at like 6 to 7 ad sets. So anywhere from 1 to 10% lookalike purchase, 1 to 10% lookalike other things. For example, a customer list, email list, right? And then a lot of something that I really like as well is using broad interest. So you have your broad interest, right? Just have one interest. Don't stack those interests within one another, and have it more than 1 million as well. Okay, just use the suggestions box on Facebook feature, and you don't have to think so much. You don't even have to go into audience insights, I feel. Yeah. Okay. And Facebook Shopify, there's an attribution error, so definitely have to observe the behavior of the ad account. Okay, once you are actually starting to run ads and traffic and data actually starts coming in. Okay, on optimization stage as well, we try to do a lot of risk management, right? So everything is about risk management. If you can scale, if you know that ROAS is good, you scale very, very hard. You try to increase that budget as much as possible so that the returns make sense, and you can usually gauge your performance within 48 hours or so. Okay, a very hot topic is CBO campaigns, right? What do I think of it? It's just more like if there's a big budget right here, if you're spending more than $250 per campaign per day, then we usually run CBO. Okay, let Facebook do its thing. Let Facebook be the good AI engine that it is. Okay, and then sometimes we use dynamic ads as well. So I'm not so sure, but for this ad account specifically, right, dynamic ads is not so stable, and it takes actually quite a much longer to see results. So sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. Okay, this is what the ad strategy testing looks like. So you can see here on the left hand side, right, campaign 1, then usually run, for example, $150 per day, and we have 3 or 4 of these running at the same time. Okay, anytime it goes above like this $40 cost per purchase, which is like a KPI that we want to set, right, before we start running ads, then we can kill at that point. Okay, dynamic rules are a bit wonky at this point in time, so sometimes we run it, sometimes we don't. It's really up to you. And don't be wasteful on the ad spend as well. Okay. One thing about this like testing strategy is that you need to keep launching testing campaigns, and the reason why you do so is because you need to keep testing new audiences, so that once your winners start to scale, right, and if they scale and they die, then you do have new winners. So you need to be constantly in the loop to test new things. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, they launched it to 6 to 7. For example, 6 to 7 ad sets right here, and then these are the several ad sets that you can use. So for example, 1 to 10% lookalike initial checkout ad cut, lookalike purchase, lookalike page view 14 days or view content. Okay, lookalike VIP list. This is very strong as well. So you take, if you had previous if you have previous customer data, right, from your email list, you take that, and then your highest lifetime value customers from that email list, people who have bought from you from the past, right, you create like a massive email list, upload it to the custom audience, and then create your lookalikes from there as well. Yep. And another one that I really like personally as well, broad interest. So anything more than 1 million, definitely, because if you want to scale your budget to like $1,000 per day per ad set, right, you definitely need to have very, very large audiences. Even audiences where it's like 20 million, we tried it as well. Okay, so for example, if you're in the cooking niche, for example, right, Martha Stewart cooking, cuisine, Gordon Ramsay, like very, very broad things. Okay, the entire aim of this testing ad strategy is that you actually find your winning creatives first. It's not finding your winning ad sets. It's finding the creatives that actually work well with the brand, with the product. Okay, once you find these winning creatives, you can move on to the scaling phase. Okay, and in the scaling phase, we take your winning creatives, put them into these audience sets as well here, and then you horizontal scale first. So you start duplicating your ad sets across, so your budget is like spread, right? And then you optimize 3 days or so, and then if you see that the results actually perform well across those ad sets, right, then you vertical scale those ad sets. That's usually what we do, as well as this really works very well, right? This holiday campaigns thing. So for example, if you have different holidays coming up, and then you can change the retargeting copy. So the copy for like for example, the creative can be the same for the retargeting ad, right? But the copy, you change it so you can match the entire holiday, right? So for example, Merry Christmas to you. For example, Valentine's Day, right? You can target men, for example, like 19 to 35, and then looking for something for her. Yeah, so it's like very, very targeted messaging, so that your cost per purchase like decreases. The messaging is very potent. You can convert very well. The ROAS is very, very good. Okay. Yep. In the ad strategy, sorry, this should be scaling. Sorry, pardon me for this. The scaling phase, right? For example, your after you've identified the winning creative, right? You find the creative that outperforms the rest, and usually this creative is very, very obvious. You go into the breakdown section of the Facebook ads, right? And then afterwards you can see usually the data, they have the most purchases or the most add to carts or the most initial checkouts. Okay, you test that creative among horizontal, then you vertical scale. So do the same thing. Identify winning creative, duplicate that into like 6 to 7 ad sets, horizontal scale, then vertical scale, because you know exactly that winning creative is a winner already. Okay, and then you can use the exact same interest as I said before. Yep, actually, so if you really think about it, it's actually quite simple, because your entire job now is as the media buyer, right, or as the marketing department, is for you to create amazing creatives, right? The media buying is not very difficult at this point in time. It's just that the strategy and like everything that comes together, execution, is very, very difficult in that sense. Yeah. Okay, so for creatives wise, for video ads, right, we do long form ad copy storytelling style, as well as BuzzFeed style video. So very fast moving pace, scroll stoppers, that kind of thing. Product demos work very well. Anything that educates the customer of the product and how they actually teach the customer how to use the product to its success to get that transformation. Does that make sense? Yeah. So anything that basically educates the product about that. Okay. And then for cold traffic wise, there are 3 to 4 video ads, and then 5 to 7 retargeting ads. Okay, photo ads, they are really product centric, and then also product with people. So we usually use 1 to 2 photos only. And take note that for cold traffic advertising, right, it has to be different from warm traffic advertising. What that means is that the creative that you show for warm traffic cannot be the same as cold traffic, because cold traffic, right, people don't understand this. You need to convince people that you like, trust, and respect them. Okay, when you're on warm traffic already, they already like, trust, and respect you. Okay, on cold traffic, you need to convince them, hey, you're a good guy, that kind of thing. What is our actual product, the value proposition, blah blah blah. So you must take note of this, because this will not work. Okay. And this previously ran ads for this brand. So you can see here the type of video ads, right? There are multiple combinations. Usually there's no ad fatigue at all, because we have, like, for example, 4 copies and 4 ads, right? 4 different creatives. You can test around so many permutations and combinations at the same time. Okay. There's also really consistency in the ad performance. So you must really be invested. You must really be on the ball to introduce new creatives all the time, right? So that this ad fatigue issue will not be a problem. Okay, so when you see a lot of ads that are not getting purchases as quickly as before, then you know the ad is fatiguing. And of course, you also can see the CPMs at the same time. So that's another metric that you want to see. Okay, scroll stopper testing. You definitely want to test a lot of hooks, have a few variations. And when if you are a consumer-facing brand that works with influencers or ambassadors, right? And you're thinking, okay, how do I deploy my influencers and ambassadors? You generally want to work with 4 to 5 of them. And then you just want to rotate them to produce content. So it's very hard to work with multiple, like 10 to 20 influencers if you think about it, because a marketing campaign takes a lot of time, right? So you rather work with 4 or 5. This is just my suggestion, by the way, to my clients, is that you work with 4 or 5, and then you just constantly work with them all over again, right? So you can constantly send them product, and if you need more video content, more content from photo from the same product, then you do have to spend more to send out more product, basically. Okay, you build a longer lasting relationship as well, and you grow with them, and you create SOP so you can work with them long term, right? Everything is easier. Okay, I'm coming to the end really quickly, and to the profit loss statement as well. But in terms of CRO, I think we should definitely, I think things we learned, right, is to put a heavier emphasis on it. Generally, when we work with developers, they take quite a while. So what I'll do is like design it in Figma first, and then pass it off to the developer, the front end guy, and then they know exactly what to do. Okay, so that use a lot of social proof in your product pages as well. And I think a two-tone color scheme is very, very good. It makes it very, very simple, and the product page usually converts very well. Okay, our conversion rate really sucks, and somehow we still can get this type of results, right? So we know that actually the ads are good, the traffic is cheap, because our ads are good. Okay, but definitely if we can literally just like times 2 our conversion rate, we just times 2 the revenue right there, and the profit times 2 as well, literally just by changing the product page. So this was definitely something that I guess like in terms of logistical complications and difficulties, this did not happen, but this is what I really suggest for you moving forward as well. Yep, and really focus on the messaging, right? How the layout and stuff, how the photos line up on the page, and how it's very consistent with the entire customer persona. I think that's very important, and I think it's the highest ROI task you actually can do at this point in time. Okay, so with the combination of paid ads, right, to a page that converts, right, you're gonna make a ton of money. Okay. Okay, so this is generally how it works. The funnel, have the strategy, have the build out and stuff, and afterwards we created the video ad creatives and stuff, and then we tested small budgets. When we test and scale, and then we can kill the losers, right? Basically, it's all about risk management, right? We don't want to be spending a ton of ads and cash burn. So we scale very, very conservatively, and then when we see something that works, right, then we just pump the brakes, and then we just like go full force. Okay, yeah, just basically go full force, and then increase the ad spend, and then money, basically. Okay, yeah. So this is basically it. This is the breakdown. Actually, at this time of recording, it's like more than this, right? But I'm just telling you right now. So 619,000. The COGS and the product cost, I guess, is around 37%, which is something that we definitely can negotiate with the supplier, and we were not able to do so because there are so many like complications in terms of supply chain and stuff, right? But in terms of, because we are shipping volume at the moment, I think my client can really negotiate that down. And if you're doing anything that's like 37%, right, for even your store, I think you should definitely negotiate that down, right? In terms of marketing side, I think we kind of did our job well in terms of ad spend for overall ROAS 4.61, and that's considering that we don't even do any email marketing like for many months, right? So there's definitely a lot more we can improve on, and like I feel really good about it. Yeah. So in terms of the entire net profit, around $250,000, and a net margin of around 41% right here. Okay. In terms of people reach, 4 million people in total, right? And this tells me that as I was saying before, right, your warm traffic bucket, the people who like, trust, and respect you, the people in your warm traffic you can retarget, right? It gets bigger over time. So I see this as a massive opportunity because there are around 4 million people who know us but who have not bought from us. So there's tons of opportunity right here. Yeah. Okay. Yep. And looking forward, I guess things we can improve on as well as like conversion rate optimization is probably too long to change things. Yeah, so we should definitely, even for you, right, if you're thinking about anything, like focus on what you can control, right? You can control your landing page, and focus you can change your product page. Focus on that first before you're actually running ads, right? And hire someone good one time, and then just fix your product page, right? And looking forward as well, email marketing, we're barely doing anything, and now because we have around 55,000 email lists, definitely want to build that up from 13% of revenue to around 30 to 40%. Okay. Yep. And I've come to the end of my presentation, and I hope you've really gained something from this case study in a sense. And like everything I say, it comes from experience and stuff. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it. I guess if you want any more information and stuff, you can find me over here at this site. And I'd like to thank you for your time, and hope you're safe in your home and stuff. Yep. I don't really know how to end. So thank you so much for your time.